Good afternoon, C7 Sun Stars. This is Aziza Sacred Wellspring here. Welcome to Sacred Sister Soul Talks TV. Um, Hi. Hopefully, we have a really wonderful show tonight. It's about awakening the soul as well as connecting to universal energy. I was just on Instagram and I saw Minister of Information, Minister Inhotep. He posted, you could go check him out. He posted this information about Africa, and I thought it was pretty interesting considering all that's going on in the world. And he said West and East Africa, they're looking at building a Sahel, which is a line of trees stretching across Africa. I thought that was pretty cool. You should check him out. He's Mr. Imhotep. Shout out to you, brother. I thought that was pretty cool. Greetings, sister. Greetings, Empress. How are you?
I am awesome. How are you?
I am fantastic. Before we get going, I posted the reel. If any of you guys want to call in, we are here to take your calls and answer your questions if we can. If we can't, we'll let you know. But the call-in number, let me type that in, 980-549-1004. Okay.
Happy Wednesday.
Did you have a good day?
Yes, very busy but good.
Interference there in the background.
And you just glitched.
Oh my goodness!
Nope.
It sounds like you're underwater.
Wait.
Okay.
I'm just gonna do it that way, and I'll listen.
Oh, you can't respond?
Can you not hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
How's the interference?
Good. Much better. Very clear. Right. So from my heart to your heart and to everyone who is listening, we are about to get our show going. So today, it follows a conversation we had last week and a conversation I had with Sadea, a friend from England. And she was telling me about a dream she had. And the funny thing is, my little kiddo today, oh, you look cute. She was on the whiteboard and she was drawing stuff. She said, Miss Abby, come see. So I went over to see what she was doing, and she drew some planets. And the funny thing is, the planets are not circular like we've been made to believe. They were egg-shaped. And she had one painted green. I said, what is that one? She said, that's Earth. Okay. And I said, oh, wow, that's interesting. And this same child last week painted a planet, and she said she painted it pink. And she said she's from that planet. Okay. And she gave it green grass, and she gave it blue skies. And I was like, that's pretty cool. And to see our children are beginning to awaken. Not awaken because they're indigo children. But yesterday was a trying day because, my goodness, the kids were off the wall. And I talked to a few friends of mine, and they were like, their children doing the Zoom calls and everything else, the children were just going crazy. And I said, it has to be a full moon coming. Tonight. And there's so much going. This is such a beautiful time to be alive that we have Saturn making its debut on December 21st. Saturn is about that father energy, control, father brings out the whip. But then we had Jupiter energy, which created the alignment with 0.1 degrees difference. Hasn't happened in over 800 years. But Jupiter represents expansion.
Well, now's the time.
And not, exactly. So now we have not only Jupiter, but we also have Mercury in the mix. And
Mm-hmm.
Mercury is that communication magic. And now we have the moon. And what people don't understand, man, this is such a beautiful time. This conjunction is the triune. We have the Father, we have the Son, and we have Mercury, which is androgyne, that's what they call it, androgynous, which is male and female, which is the mother. Remember in the Bible, they talk about the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. So Mercury represents that Holy Ghost. And not only that, we have Uranus, which is Saturn's father. He's coming into the mix soon. And then we have the moon, that emotional energy. And all of this is happening in Capricorn, which is air energy. So this is a time of upheaval, this change, is governments, personal, political, countries, everything is about to change in our world. And it's our blessed day, Queen, and it's how you aspect it.
Right.
But then we're gonna have the, what do you call it, the cube, which is coming, because we're gonna have Saturn, Jupiter, Mercury, Moon, and Uranus, which is coming up by the end of the month.
We're getting there so quickly too.
Oh my goodness. And we got all this solar energy, which is magnetizing our atmosphere, which is getting us ready for ascension.
Well, we've been getting ready for ascension for quite some time, but the way the rotation has sped up, time is going by quicker than most people realize. Because before you know it, it's already Wednesday. It was literally just Sunday. And I'm like, I'm just going to relax. And I'm like, wait, Sunday's over like this.
But you know, the Bible says in the days to come, I'll quicken the days for the elect. Because if I don't do that, the elect will be consumed with all this energy too, you know? Because you're hearing so many conflicting this and conflicting that. And I try my best to not really vent my opinion too much on the political stuff, but how can you not?
Well, you know, everything ties into each other, and kind of like what we discussed, everybody has their job. Everyone has a place in the system, even if we don't agree with it, and even if it's outside of what it is we stand for.
That's right. That's right.
What I consider a necessary evil.
Yes,
the way I told you know, we talked about it. God allowed the devil to tempt his people. You don't get a chance or opportunity to express your free will if you do not have anything to choose between.
That's right. That's right.
So the thing is, now we have three choices, and people are unaware of that third choice. So it's like we have the evil, we have the less evil, and then we have the, we're going to do this the right way and the natural order of things and the way that God has intended it to be. So that's where we are right now.
That's where we are.
It's a huge turning point. You know what I mean? You don't understand, and you're not willing to understand, or even sometimes just take a look at it, you will get lost in this shuffle right now.
It is very true. You know, the moon and Mercury also represents that Isis energy, that Osset energy that we said we were going to talk about, Lilith, that Lilith energy, which for lack of a better term, the Luciferians or the Illuminati do their rituals too. They take something that is wholesome, something that our ancestors create to help guide us, because Osset represents the seat, right? And the pineal gland is the seat of the soul. So a king can only come to power when he comes through the queen.
But a queen will always remain in power. She doesn't need the king.
But they've taken that positive energy and they've switched that to the Lilith energy, which is the Eve energy. But what are your thoughts on that? Your thoughts on the Lilith Eve energy?
Well,
I give my thoughts.
To me, the Lilith Eve energy, they're separate. They come from the same origin. But then that's where we go into that whole free will. Lilith, from the beginning, was free. free to create, free to explore, free to be. She was just under certain constructs which didn't let her go but so far.
Okay.
And that's where a lot of, really, it was like, Lilith was expected to be submissive to the masculine energy when it was really supposed to be a balance.
So it's really suppressing the female.
Correct.
But then we also have, when we talk about Lilith, we also have the Babylonian goddess that everybody talks about. We talked about her, Semiramis, that during the time of Atlantis, people went into the underworld to call up this energy. And you can take something good and flip it. Look what happened to us. I mean, after all, right? You can take something good and flip it to make it exotic, to make it untouchable, and to make it work for you. Because that's what has been happening with the Saturn energy, right? To make it work for you. My understanding of the Lilith energy was coming out of Eve. That she's connected with Eve in a roundabout way and has been worshipped as the replacement goddess for us, for the daughters of Osset. And over the centuries, people have sacrificed children or others to this negative energy because it is thought that if you blood, which is the life force, that using blood gets you to the next level. And the blood of innocence gets you to the next level.
Okay, so I think a large part of that too is when you start to play, and I don't mean play, but play with the Bible. Because even when you read the scriptures, there were sacrifices. Even when it came down to the sacrificial lamb, whether they're burning incense or giving different types of burnt offerings, they've taken that and they've tried to elevate it in a perverse way. You understand? So it's a little different for me. I mean, everyone has their own understanding about that energy.
Okay.
She was the first. She was literally Adam's first wife. But she didn't feel the need to bow down, which is why Eve was created from him to be his person, not just his helpmate, not his partner, not his equal. And that's why a lot of people had that issue. But then that's one of the reasons why Eve became the original for us, because then everything sprang from those two. While he was kind of kicked out of there in the same way that Lucifer was. They say that Lilith is Lucifer's husband. And again, you can take a look.
Right.
I keep getting the notifications on my phone coming down, and I'm like, wait. But, where was I at? So,
Lilith is Lucifer's wife.
That's how they categorize it. Which I'm not saying that's incorrect, because by no means do I go that far into religious philosophy and indoctrination to that extent. Again, because a lot of things have been perverted. I mean, you have to look at a lot of the texts that have been removed. You have to look at some of the sacred books that some people don't have access to.
That's right.
It's also tied into other mythology. Like, even if you look at Greek mythology and Egyptian mythology, all of it ties back into the biblical story. How it came to be, and who was what, and who was supposed to be what. For me, Lilith is the rebellious feminine energy. Not that she necessarily wants to control everything, but I mean, it's like having a child with tantrums. They're spoiled. They're used to having a certain amount of privilege, a certain amount of freedom, and to have any kind of restriction where, no, I'm just going to do everything I want to do, you automatically get categorized as being bad or evil. Right.
Yes. Agreed.
So
you have to suppress it.
It's been taken out of context, which is why women have astigmatism. As soon as you exude your power and you stand in your power, automatically, especially depending on your ethnicity, you're an angry whatever woman. You're smart, you're rebellious, this and the third. No, I am naturally inclined to be a leader because I am a creator. That is what we do as women. We are providing the protectors, even though it is the masculine's energy's job to solely do that. We still play a part in that. We play a part in it strategically to the point where a lot of times people don't even realize it. Most of the thoughts of creation, they're not just happening with the masculine energy. The masculine can't create anything on his own.
Ooh. I mean, they're not just. I don't want to just label our brothers as just, but they're the spark. You know, within that seed is everything else. Without that spark, this is Semiramis conceived without the aid of the sperm, right?
Back in ancient times.
Right.
And I was reading something, I want to say it was about 6 months ago, where the feminine energies were asexual, where they didn't need that in order to create. Even when it comes down to, let's say, our monthly cycles, that was something that previously hadn't existed. This whole menopause thing was something that hadn't existed. But then there are certain things that as we evolved and as we began to absorb other things into our bodies, that automatically affect our nature.
That's right. But it goes back then to what the Atlanteans, no, even before the Atlanteans, I don't want to give away too much because we're working on something for Black History Month. But it goes back to with the Hyperboreans when they said the atom split itself and the first life that was formed was the amoeba. So there was, like you said, asexual. There was no male and female. And at that time, we were formless. We could take on any object and become that object, what they call changelings. I mean, they tell you all this stuff, but we think it is just Hollywood, right? It was changelings. I think it was Deep Space Nine, where there was this guy who could mimic any object and turn into that object. That's who we were back then, over 4 billion years ago when this universe was created, because the galaxies are older than time itself. Nobody knows when the galaxy was formed. But this universe, of which we are part of, we could change. There were cyclops, we were all of these things. We could change into all that. And I try to explain to people, the Caucasian is only just over 6,000 years old. We were all of these other things. So we being the mothers, we were, if you want to call it Lilith, we were Semiramis, we were all of this, we were a set. And all of these were stories that we created to help our children, to help us understand the constellations.
Right.
These were all stories, but it's been bastardized over the centuries. We've been, we've been excommunicated. The woman has been put as dirty, as nothing, as unsuppressed.
Well, we've also been over-sexualized.
If we ever touch into our divinity, men sees their world, or white Caucasian men see their world ending because they don't have that connection to the divine as we did. Our men now thinks that they don't revert us because society says we are whores, we're this, we're that, instead of seeing the divine in us.
Well, that's widely broadcast. However,
okay, correct me, sister.
No, because if you look at TV and mainstream entertainment, you'll see that, and then you will see that in some ignorant people, and not just men, because women have a tendency to do it to themselves as well. It's not just how you're being depicted and how people look at you; it's how you're putting yourself out there. So if you're overly sexualized and you're fast to go out there half naked and you do everything else and have these same conversations with every other woman that I talk to. There's nothing wrong with being sexy. There's nothing wrong with being beautiful. There's nothing wrong with being sexual. However, if you demean yourself with certain acts that go against your divinity, that's where the issue comes in. That's when you have a flash of the light and dark parts of your soul. And that's when they no longer can differentiate between who you are and who the world says that you are.
Okay, so it's the shadow self then.
Exactly.
The shadow self. So then in looking at the shadow self, because the shadow is God, right? We're saying that God is all of these things, but we're also taught that God is divine.
Yeah, because the shadow is our spirit self. It
Right.
resides within our physical.
Right. So the world has then the world has made us accept the shadow self as the real self.
Correct.
Then that's what we're saying. So then we know that that's illusion. We know that that's illusion. So we're getting back then, not getting back, we're moving into the time where we're connecting with our divinity.
Correct.
Right? So then everything that we've learned has just been, as we said, illusion. That's not who we are. We are gods. We are goddesses. We're empresses. We are the mother herself living among men.
We'll see. Yes and no, because everyone is not going to fall into one of those categories. Because again, everybody has a job. Some of those people that are out there overly sexualized and who over sensationalize those types of ways of being, that is their job. Their job is to be the temptress. Their job is to be the seductress. Their jobs are to be the streetwalkers and ladies of the night. Just to use those particular terms. That is part of their job. Because again, you cannot freely choose which path you're going to go on if you do not have a different road to travel. There has to be something concrete there, whether it's evidential or not. It has to be something there to make you make that choice. You understand? So it's not one of those things that just happens. It's no different from, let's say, a sports team. You choose to be on this side. You're drafted onto this side. You're drafted onto this team. That's who you play for. And then between that, it is your job to one, throw your opponent off his game and make sure he doesn't win, inviting the other person vice versa. And then you might have people like us that are cheerleaders.
Okay.
This particular team, which would be the good, the divine, to win. So that way we can go to the order of things. You know what I mean? So I look at it a little bit differently, and sometimes I have to explain it in different contexts, like outside of the regular box. Otherwise, everyone's not going to follow. Everyone doesn't get religious philosophy. I've picked up my Bible on countless occasions, and sometimes I'm like, I got to read this again. It just doesn't make sense. But when you look at it with a fresh pair of eyes and a new perspective, you're like, oh, that makes perfect sense.
Okay, here replying to somebody.
Well, you do the replying.
Any questions from those who are listening?
This is true, son. This is what I'm saying. So, like, even with that, what Son said about poverty being used to push those jobs too. You have to have a choice. There has to be something in the middle that will make that person say, hey, well, which way am I going to go? So if this person can't become employed and giving them an option, well, I can go out here and my little whatever it is and throw my rouge on, I can get the same amount but more. They're going to choose that option because they don't have another way, and that avenue has been open to them. But again, it's part of their contract as well. Because you can a Madam C.J. Walker and make your own business.
Okay.
You just started circling on me. I had to make sure you were still there.
Yeah, every time we get into these conversations, that happens. Okay, so
too deep.
We're talking about awakening the soul. If anybody wants to give us a call in, the number is 980-549-1004. Ask a question. Since we were talking about books, last night I was in my bookshelf, and the Serious Mystery fell out of the bookshelf and hit me. But as I'm looking at that, then Message to the Black Man pops up. I don't know if anybody has ever read this book.
I have not.
This book is amazing. I bought this book over 20 years ago.
Okay.
Um, it's written by Elijah Muhammad, and it speaks of how men treat the Black woman.
Okay.
I also have The Mark of the Beast. Since we're talking about connecting, this book is over 30 years old. I don't know if you can still find this, but it is so interesting that it's timely because it speaks about Barack Obama in this book.
Don't you stop.
No, I'm not. But I am not. But since we also talking about ascension. We just touch on the goddess because we want to connect people who are awakening to self. We spoke about the energies that everyone has been feeling the last couple of weeks, even the children, because lots of wonderful things are happening in our skies as we speak. Today being the 13 cycles of a woman's menstrual cycle. There were actually 13 months to the year before. It was divvied up into 12 because, again, 13 represent the female energy. So the fathers that be back in the day did not want to connect that energy. Everything was supposed to be patriarchal. So they changed up the calendar to the Julian calendar. We have the 13 planets. So everything spoke to our divinity as women, but we were shut down, especially the African woman, because they know, as Elijah Muhammad said, where there are non-decent men, you won't find a decent woman, and vice versa. There's the African female who connects and roots her man into who he is, and she's basically the head of the household. If she is strong, the whole house survives. The whole house is healthy. So we had to suppress her to control him. And Willie Lynch did this. I don't know if anybody ever read the Willie Lynch letter or proposal. Some said it was a farce, but
they made you read
right. Willie Lynch, you guys can go research Willie Lynch, but just to give a synopsis, he was supposedly a plantation owner coming out of Barbados in 1712, and he came here to Virginia, and he saw some of the slaves hang, some of the Africans hanging. I don't even like to call us slaves because we were not that. Some of the Africans hanging, and he says, well, shoot, you are getting rid of real good stock, because if you're going to kill them for just stealing, you're going to have to keep buying new laborers all the time. So he told them he had a surefire plan. He had a proposal that would keep this going until a phenomenon comes that changes that. And in some instances, he had the Black woman who was pregnant watch horses pull the Black man apart.
Among other things.
Right. Naturally, that put the fear of God in her, where she became overprotective of any seed that she would have thereafter. Yeah, there were uprisings, but for the most part, those were kept real low key. For example, we had Crispus Attucks and the Boston Tea Party and all these other things that happened. But we can see the results of what that proposal has done to our community.
Right.
It has destroyed the fabric of our community. We are in that process now of rebuilding that. And I said, let the dead bury the dead, because we will stand to inherit the kingdom, which is originally our kingdom anyway. We are in a good place to get our kingdom back and make it better. At the beginning of this broadcast, I spoke of Mr. Imhotep, who posted Africa and a picture of Africa, and the African nations are, instead of building a wall, they're going to plant trees right across Africa. I thought that was so amazing, and that's the kind of stock that we came from. We don't build walls, brick walls to keep people out. They're building trees,
right,
and giving back to nature, because that stretch of land is just desert.
Okay.
That's the kind of people we are. And that's what we need to, for lack of a better word, get back to as a people. Well, being here in the West.
I'm going to be honest. The country is seeing the type of people we really are after last week's foolery. Because they've been waiting for us to be the ones to go up there and tear up the Capitol and beat down the White House and drag everybody through the street. We've done everything that we can to be diplomatic, to be peaceful, and to still be nurturing and still build up this country and our culture and the people around us, regardless of ethnicity and skin color. We've been very open-hearted and kind and compassionate in ways that the country never deserved. I will always say that they never deserved it. You understand?
You see, the thing with that is last week, as I said, it has everything to do with us and yet nothing to do with us, because we have been kept down for so long. We had nothing to gain. Our men have been shot in the street like dogs. Look at Eric Gardner. Look at even Sandra Bland, treated like dogs. So we had nothing to gain by going to Washington. It's not our fight.
Right. But
yet, you know what I'm saying?
It's not, but in a way it is. The problem is, with the way they're fighting, we don't benefit from it because it's solely based on what their needs and their intentions are. And their needs and their intentions are never based on helping us or the country as a collective. It's never about people as a whole. It's always about this small sector that feels a sense of entitlement in regards of what it is that they feel like they deserve in a country that they didn't put together. Let's be honest. It was.
Well, I'll tell you this. As Willie Lynch said, there will have to be a phenomenon that comes and changes that. This is the phenomenon that we've been waiting for. 2019 marked 400 years of being in a land that, as I said, is not our own. Yet it is. We kept the best part for ourselves, coming out of Atlantis, going to Egypt, and building that civilization up again. People that were here is not the Red Indian, as people have been told. They were Africans that were here. The first, as we said, president of the U.S., if we want to put that simple title to it, was a Moor.
Yes.
You know, and George Washington paid homage to that Moor. Tithes and taxes came out of Spain. The tariffs that we pay now is tariff, the Moor.
Yeah.
The Moors built England up from nothing. So when it is important to know our history, and when you know our history, it becomes our story. But we don't just live in our story, we have to rewrite it now. And this is our opportunity to do that. Right. Everything is returning to its original space. If it does not, everything is done. We are here, whoever's listening to this broadcast, you and I, we are here to make that difference. We are here to awaken the people to their souls.
Well, whoever's here, let me know if they have any questions, because you and I, we talk a lot.
We do.
And there's always going to be stuff that...
Anybody has any questions, concerns?
Look at my screen so I can answer a question if I can. If not, Abby, that's you.
Nobody's calling in. Questions. Don't be shy. Now is the time to ask. You're going to get it honest and straightforward. Come through.
Because if not, we talk. This will be like a personal FaceTime for the Spirit Tribe. Our soul family with no problem. Hi, Bayesian Pumpkin. I hope the baby's feeling better today. Look, I didn't see anything. Hi, everybody. Look, I've been staring at my computer. I've been staring at my computer screen for so long. I'm like, I can't look at anything beyond the picture. And then I got the notices coming up top. I did turn my phone on silent and do not disturb, so I can just knock that part out.
Oh my goodness. Well, let's continue till people. Okay. So Yeah, so we're talking about awakening the soul, and we're talking about ascension, connecting to the energy as well. Give me your thoughts on that, sister, before we get in. She's sleeping.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Give me your thoughts on the energy that's coming through, this solar energy that we've been feeling and seeing.
Okay. For a person who's not been outside in the daytime in 3 days, don't judge me. I look out the window. I'm be honest, it's really comforting and it's really soothing.
Mm-hmm.
I start feeling a lot calmer. There's a lot of stuff going on. To be honest with you, those other energies are really trying to run interference, but I find myself being a lot more steadfast in what I know is to come.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a more decisive energy. It's a more clear energy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's strategic, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know the right placement.
Okay.
It's all about position. And it's also about how open you are. Because
Yeah.
a lot of us have been closed off a lot. So we weren't able to absorb the fullness of the energy or use that to our benefit. Now is the time where all of the creativity is like really coming out. Like really. It used to take me months to finish sketches, like months. Now I'm like, no, I'm just gonna sit here and sketch and I'm gonna paint and I'm gonna write. And I decided to do my little love jar.
Oh.
So, I was sitting here getting really creative. So I took my little pieces of paper and I cut them into a little heart. So you're having a bad day. I'm like, we'll shake it up and we'll find something good. Oh, and I love this one. I honor the God within me.
That's pretty cool.
It's just little
things. Good to start a love jar. I love that.
But it's not just for me. Like I told my daughter, I said I'd really let people in my house. But people come around, their energy is kind of janky. So you just put your little hand in there and grab one, take it with you, because I don't want it cross-contaminated. But you leave a little love in return.
That's right.
Reciprocity. Everything that we put out is really coming back in.
Yep.
So it's more important now than ever to really take stock of the seeds that are being planted.
That's a good idea, Beijing for life. I love that. It's really a good idea. I think I'll start something like that.
It's like a little pick-me-up. So everyone thinks, oh, you're spiritual. You're supposed to be happy all the time. No. When the ancestors are on your back and you in the shower crying and shaking in the dark, you need to get out and you need a little love.
I would tell people this is the time to start doing your work. I know there's some people started doing their work, and you'll know. You'll know when you're supposed to.
Right.
This is the time to start healing from all them old hurts and letting that go, because in the world to come, we don't have time for that. Right now, it used to take forever for something to catch up. It is like boom, boom, boom. I was having this conversation with Sadea earlier, and we were talking about everything is evolving so quickly. You just talked about the days just zipping by. This solar energy is magnetizing everything. It's magnetizing the skies. And we are yesterday, the 12th, we entered the second phase.
Look, I forgot what date it was, the 13th.
We entered today is the 13th. Yesterday, we entered the second phase. If you realize, Donald Trump came out on the 12th at 3 p.m. Numbers are very, very key in how these folks do everything. 12/3 at 3 p.m. because he invoked another type of energy. While he's invoking that energy, the divine, our ancestors, is also invoking this energy. The skies are charged. If you realize the sun is white, it's not like when we were growing up, it is white and it is boom in your face.
Well,
see me, hear me, feel me.
The days I have gone outside prior to those last 3 days, like Sun just said, because we've been in the house quite a bit apparently, I was able to take pictures. So I'll literally just point my camera. I might not look directly into it because I need to be able to see for the next 3 hours. I've been taking photos, and you'll notice even the way it shines. It's like a spotlight now.
Yes, yes.
It's literally like a spotlight. And
those are the solar flares that everybody's been talking about. That solar energy is magnetized.
Mm-hmm.
It is preparing the way in a roundabout way for this phase. The next couple of months, everything is going to go quickly. Corona will be a thing of the past. It's already on its way out because that energy is pushing that out. We are in the ascension cycle, basically.
Right.
We're in the ascension cycle. For people who don't understand what that means, that's when we're supposed to be taken up and into a new world. Okay?
But not the way you think. Like, I don't want anybody to think that the spaceship's about to come down and pop us up out of our bed and we're going to wake up on a green, blue planet tomorrow. That's just not going to happen. Because everybody's for their Power Ranger powers on the 21st. And they're very upset when they couldn't microwave things with their hands.
What is happening? The toroidal fields have already been dissolved. The toroidal fields, legend has it, were created by the we call the with a rainbow. We call them little guys.
Not the little leprechauns.
Leprechauns. They were. Oh my goodness. The leprechauns built this the toroidal fields to keep out the radiation that the draconians came in with. So it sort of protected the earth. Earth was like a tropical getaway for most beings, entities that came here. It was a way station to somewhere else. Right. But then those who destroyed the draconians, who destroyed their homeland, felt that this was going to be their new place because Earth was so key to get into the mother because she was fresh. Earth was freshly minted, basically. So they came here with the intention of making it their homeland.
Well, see, you got to say it's fertile ground. And I don't know why. It's very fertile ground here.
Yeah, and but you see, this is only one, as I keep saying, this is only one part of 9 other lands. Well, we are pushing out from the center, and that's what's happening now. The change is also pushing us further and further.
Well, no.
She's terrible, isn't she, Bijan? You know, it's pushing us further and further out. But be that as it may, this energy that's coming in is igniting within us, not just our DNA, but it's also changing how we evolve as a people. And I always tell people, some white folk will be a remnant. Not all of them will get through because to get to the next phase, you have to have this. This is your spaceship.
Right.
Our melanin is our spaceship to the next phase.
This is I'm not. See, this is why I'm not reading it. I'm going to. And this is what I'm gonna say.
I can't wait for you two to get together. Oh my God!
You wait until we get back together. Listen. So I've always been obsessed with the map, and it's bad because they don't have the same stuff that they did back in the 80s and the 90s, curriculum-wise. They've changed everything so much. The continents are literally a puzzle. And I would look at the map and everything fits around Africa perfectly.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Everything, all of the continents, all of the lands. Wait a minute. See, look, Mercury popped up. All of the lands, oh my goodness. All of the lands, including the continents and the islands. Oh, hold on. That's a constellation map. Wait 1 second. I can't even get it minimized.
No,
okay.
You can't minimize
all of the lands, including the continents, the islands, is one landmass.
Right.
There are 8 more that's divided by mountains 80,000 feet high. Okay? 8 more of lands that resemble this. These people, these Illuminati, whatever you want to call them, the cabal, they know this.
We're going to call them anybody that's not
right.
on the team.
I don't even know a name for them. They know this. Okay, they know this. That's what they discuss in their Berlin meetings and what's not. They know this. The Vatican knows this. Well, they have the information, for crying out loud.
The Vatican has been worshiping the Black Madonna forever. They have plenty of information.
They've been worshiping you.
Right.
but what I'm saying is, all these continents, the islands, what we call the islands, South America, North America, India, all that, is one landmass. There are more that are bigger, and they know this. But it was easier to keep that information from you, because if they let you know this, they can't control you.
Well, see, and
it's about control. But that is changing, because those walls are coming down, and that's why I say to people, you're going to see entities and beings that look like you, shaped like you, different faces, and it's gonna freak you out. That's why they're now talking about declassifying, to let people know within 180 days about UFOs and about aliens.
Yeah.
You had the Israeli former minister came out a month ago in December. He spoke about the aliens and all of that.
Well, those
information.
They've had old agents talking about it, even on the History and the Discovery Channel. That's why all those folks wanted to storm Area 51 until they found out that they would be shot on sight.
But there you go. They had this information, and all of that information will now become available through people like us to the others, so that people are aware. Right. So where people think that ascension may be going up in the sky, to some degree it may be, but it may be that we move to another part of the lands. You see what I'm saying? I mean that these lands become available, that we move to these lands instead of staying here. I'm just saying.
No,
ascension may not be what people think it is.
I just started hearing things in areas where no one is. So I had to need everybody to join the show.
Yeah. So on that note, let's wrap it up, because we're past the time that we were going to be here. Any questions? Nobody likes to ask questions. I refer people to ask, that way you can get a better understanding. Do you want to do any quick card readings of the next day or two?
And I saw that. I said, she just laid that one on me.
I was just thinking, maybe, just maybe.
Thank you, David.
Just maybe for somebody it might resonate. Maybe 2 cards, a card.
That's fine. I'll use my oracle cards, my sacred travel
awesome.
cards. I don't know why. I never want to say the I just like, let's travel, No worries. Hold on, wait a minute. We ready to leave. Well, I gotta finish my job first, Jason. But I keep telling them, when I leave, I'm not coming back. I'm not playing with these people. I don't want to get caught up in no more stuff. I just want to finish up my contract, and that hurt. Keep it moving. Hold on a second, because I need to protect my little energy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, y'all just don't jump out at one time now. Look, I start hearing stuff in the back. You start talking about cards. Ready? Oh. Okay, I'm okay with that. First card up, great adventure. Take a risk, venture forward. I like that.
I like that. Great adventure. Sounds like me.
Listen, It's us. Oh, I'm
Mm,
sorry. I'm sorry. You know, I'm a little happy.
love, love. I love it.
Okay, so we're at a turning point where everything that we decide right now is really going to dictate not just our future, but our lineage, period. Whatever you choose is going to dictate what goes on in future generations as long as they're still here.
Wow.
So that great adventure to me, I know the card says one thing, but you know me, I feel something different. We got to be careful with those choices, especially in this full moon energy. We're calling in things right now. We're manifesting to the point where when you think something, that thing will just come to be. And you're like, hold on, wait, I didn't mean that. Well, too late. As soon as the thought forms, it's there. Watching the clouds. What are we just talking about?
Oh my gosh.
It just says lie back, rest, and relax. Yeah, that's what it says. I'm trying to read a little backwards. It's not necessarily about being in observation mode because we've observed enough, but you have to be more vigilant now. Along with these choices come vigilant. That's where discernment comes in. Everything after that, wow, is rejuvenating rain. Clear the past, heal the present.
Okay.
And you heard him, but clear the past, heal the present. So you know how, you know, we're talking about clearing up those traumas, whether it's childhood, relationship, friendship, workship, whatever ship that's not the mothership. Clean it. You gotta clean it up. You gotta sweep those floors. You gotta do your ammonia washes. Get your stuff together, like internally though. It's not just, I mean, if your surroundings are cluttered, please clean that up too. Cleanliness is next to godliness, and I can't take it. Like, please clean that up. But personally, clean up our relationship. We are here to heal. Like, we're here to heal, and we're here to move forward. And we're here to establish a new way of being, a new way of communicating, a new way of loving people, and not just ourselves. It's far greater than that. So, like, even when I look at watching the clouds are so vast and so far spanning, you don't know how far they're reaching. We don't know how far our love is reaching. You understand? Like, but, you know, that's just me. That's just how I feel.
Any questions, y'all? Any questions? Any questions? Let them come through.
Please. Are you talking about a card for you? Abby tricks me. I'm gonna tell you now. She the only one who could like just pull the cards for them. I'm like, okay. Now, you better be careful, because I don't know if you really want people in your business. Abby, people just tell her they're gonna be in her business.
Listen, yo, we will be back here. Saturday, you want to do this Saturday where we can just have simple conversation?
Let me grab my calendar book. Hold on. Wait, let me grab
I always put her on the spot, y'all. This is a family meeting. This is family time. We just chatting, y'all. We just chatting.
Okay. Wait, what time are you thinking, honey?
We could do it early, 4-ish, 5-ish. No? 8 o'clock is, because Beja for Life is from the UK. So this is what? 9 is 1 o'clock in the UK for her. But she stayed up for this.
Oh.
Yeah. She is up for this. She is in the UK. Welcome to the UK, sister.
We come here with you, I think.
Yeah, we gonna come and visit you, sister. We gonna come and kidnap you and bring you back here.
You don't want to come here right now.
Or maybe Barbados. I don't know.
We can do that.
We can do Barbados. Oh, that'd be nice.
We can do 5 o'clock. That way, the other stuff I know I have to do, it'll be perfect.
Okay, so y'all, we'll be back here Saturday at 5 o'clock. This half an hour turned into almost an hour, but I think there's so much information we want to give you guys that it just goes on, and we touch on a variety of subjects. We try to tighten that up for you guys, but the best way to do anything is that the divine guide it, and that's how I feel. Anytime I plan anything, the divine says, no, this is what I want. So we'll continue awakening the soul and connecting. I'll have a few more books to show you guys as well. Nyasha might do a couple more readings. Naya, if people want to do readings, are you still open to that?
I do some personal readings. You know, I only do those by referrals because I don't do everybody. But y'all family, if you inbox me, DM me, we'll work on it.
Okay, well, guys, there you have it. Inbox Nyasha. She's open to giving reading. She is extremely good, straightforward, to the point, and comes from spirit, from a good place. So your reading is going to be infused with positive energy. She ain't coming to give you no bullshit. She ain't doing no necromancy. She ain't doing none of that crap. Positive energy, y'all. I don't associate with nothing but the best. And if you all know me, y'all know you're getting the best. Okay, so inbox her. She'll give you your readings. Come back on Saturday at 5 o'clock. You ain't got nowhere to go. Shoot, COVID got everybody home. So come and spend some time with us and get some information that can save your spiritual life.
Look, that's the reason why we still on punishment. They keep finding places to go. I'm going to on Saturday. I'm going to be socially distant, though.
So come on back here on Saturday at 5 o'clock. We promise we'll only stay a half an hour on Saturday. So give us half an hour of your time that can help you become the best you. For you, information from the divine goddess, I'll channel on that day as well. So you're going to listen. Saturday is the jackpot. I channel every time I'm on here. I just channel for you. It is straightforward. My readings are past life readings. Nyasha does the tarot card. That's where she's comfortable in. My tarot, my readings come from the ether. My readings come from the astral plane. The astral plane is where everything that has ever happened on earth exists. So I will pull information. If you send and ask a question, or let me see how we will do that, Nyasha.
Listen,
because I pick up a lot of energies right now. I'm picking up a lot of energies on this stream, so everything is all mixed in.
A lot of in the third eye and the crown chakra.
Yeah, right now all of that is throbbing right here because I'm picking up everybody. It's a warm energy from my heart to your heart. Divine.
Chakra together. Somebody's not expressing themselves. Let me just say that because I'm like,
yeah, everybody's here feeding right now. I can feel that energy. They're feeding.
Yeah,
they're loving what is happening. But instead of just feeding, I want you to ask a question as well. And you don't have to give me anything specific. Just ask a question and I'll go from there. If you ask a question, I can then focus in on that energy. But right now, all of your energies are up here because what we're saying makes sense for some of you. I talk with my hands, y'all. What we're saying makes sense for some of you. You're connecting with it. It's
hot.
Yeah. Ooh. Somebody here is really, really, really stressed. And they really super stressed. And that pushed through all of those energies to come to the front.
It's in here. Y'all gotta.
Yeah.
Abby.
Woo. You're heavy, sister.
So that was you, not
extremely heavy.
And somebody's heart chakra. Everybody's getting warm in here as they're connecting and tapping in. Okay, so.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Feels you guys when you're in my energy. So if you're over there getting warm and hot and breaking out in sweat, it'll go away in a little while, I promise.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Somebody just sent me, they raised their hand, okay? Yeah. So just instead of raising your hand on Saturday, ask a question. We family, this is our community, okay? Ask a question. So it is 9 o'clock, 9 is completion. And on that note, family, from our hearts to your heart, we love you. See you back here on Saturday.
5 o'clock, 30 minutes.
All right, peace.
All right,
bye.
love you guys. It's your shoulders. Oh, okay.
Ah!
Fix that.
Oh my goodness.
All right, y'all hit my inbox.
Yeah, it's her. It's this energy. Love, love, love.
We're gonna fix it.
You and I will talk.
Yeah.
Calling you. All right,
okay.
peace.
Love you. Bye bye.
Ooh.